Is the Clarity Act being postponed a good thing for the crypto market or a bad thing? Let's talk about that. Okay, so we're going to look at the crypto market right now. The market cap's down 0.26% as of right now. I think it was at 3.3 trillion and it's high over the past few days. And things have dropped a little bit, a decent amount, as we saw after the Clarity Act did get postponed. And let's talk about if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I really do believe in the Clarity Act, and I don't believe, obviously, we don't want regular uncertainty, which we kind of have right now at this moment, but I don't believe that the Clarity Act being postponed is a bad thing. And I'm going to tell you guys why in this video as we go along with this article. I'll provide you with my opinion on why I don't think it is a bad thing. So yeah, I'll take a little peek at the market, just kind of scroll down and just briefly look at it. We got some more red than we would like to see than we saw the past few days. So everything's a little uncertain and not looking great, if I'm being honest. All right, let's talk about this. Clarity is better than chaos. Ripple CEO affirms support for Clarity Act despite imperfections. Okay, so the Ripple CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has reaffirmed his support for the Clarity Act, urging lawmakers in the crypto industry to keep pushing the bill forward, which I believe they will. I don't think they're going to stop here for sure. There's a lot of big companies and big people behind this, and a lot of people want this to happen. It's going to push as hard as they can for this to happen. I believe it'll happen. It's just a matter of when this will happen. Okay, so this happened after Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong's decision to withdraw support. The reason he withdrew his support is because when we were approaching January 15th, the Senate kind of put some rules in this act that we did not like, which caused this Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong's decision to withdraw support. The act basically, it favored the banks over innovators and people wanting crypto. They basically wanted to just not give us anything. And we don't want that. We want our money too. I mean, it's our money. We want that money, and the bank just wants to take it all away. In simple terms, the bank wants to have way more power than we want them to have. We want to kind of run it more of ourselves and kind of run it through crypto, but they want all the power. They don't want to give us anything, and we do not like that. The Ripple CEO argued that clear legislation, even if imperfect, would benefit the industry more than ongoing certainty. He called on industry leaders to work with lawmakers, present improvements, and resist the temptation to abandon the effort. I for sure don't think it should be abandoned, but I for sure don't think it should have been passed regarding the rules that were made coming up to it. I think if they didn't make a certain rule, which they made a certain rule, if they didn't make a rule saying pretty much, I'm just going to dumb it down. Pretty much what I said earlier is that they said, we want the money. We're not giving you guys anything. We want the power. And we're not giving you guys any return on your money. And we want the return on our money. But this caused uncertainty. Obviously, this happens in crypto and in markets. Whenever something doesn't go how it was planned, uncertainty arises. People get scared. We saw that in the stock market the other day. Whenever the CPI report came in cooler, and a lot of stock investors moved their money in the crypto market. We see this a lot, and this is just another one of those things we're going to have to keep pushing for, and it raised a little bit of uncertainty because things didn't go our way. They didn't go how we wanted to go. So this is what happened. The Senate delayed a markup on the Clarity Act after Republicans released last-minute revisions that led to pushbacks. This is the reason why it was delayed, is because these last-minute revisions. And so the CEO withdrew his support, pointing out multiple imperfections with the bill. There is multiple. And we kind of get Cardano CEO Charles Hoskinson's idea on this. He's expressed doubt that the bill will pass soon and criticized U.S. policy for favoring banks over innovators. This is the important part, the banks over innovators. We want the innovators over the banks, not the other way around. And so I don't know how soon it will pass. Charles Hoskinson thinks later than the first quarter, which I think I think that's realistic now, because now they're going to have to go in, they're going to have to work at it, which I wasn't really expecting for the Clarity Act to be passed. If I'm being honest, I wasn't really like, oh yeah, this is going to be passed for sure. I really didn't think it was going to be passed. There's always stuff like this always happens. You just can't be too sure about anything in the crypto market and in all these markets, anything happening. So the Ripple CEO acknowledged that the bill still needs work, but insisted that clear rules beat confusion and uncertainty. Yes, 100%. Clarity is better than chaos, and the industry needs clarity, especially right now when there's a lot of uncertainty. This is where we need clarity, and this is where we need this act. We We don't want any more confusion and manipulation in the market and anything that we already have. We already have enough of it. We all know that. So we don't want this. But if this act would have got passed, and it would have been a disaster for the crypto market in the long term, it would have been horrible. Nothing would have went our way, and XRP and the whole crypto market kind of wouldn't have got adopted how we want it to be adopted. So even if the first version of those rules fall short of perfection, which they fell short of perfection. The first rules that came out obviously got postponed. Those rules fell short of perfection. Excuse me. Garlinghouse pointed out that regulatory uncertainty is damaging, arguing that companies need something firm to build around. We have a lot of regulatory uncertainty, which kind of sucks, but that's what we have right now. And it sucks, but we have a ton of huge companies, which we'll be talking about a little bit later in this video. Ton of huge companies, ton of huge people that will be pushing for this hard. And there are some upside. There's some good news that we can kind of look at and be like, okay, this has a chance of happening. So this is the roadblock that it kind of hit. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this off, and I'll talk about it. So the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025 seeks to create a formal rule book for digital assets in the United States. The bill outlines which areas fall under the Securities and Exchange Commission and which ones belong to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. So pretty much a rule book. Is to dumb it down, it's a rule book for digital assets like crypto in the US. It set a new standard for emerging areas such as stablecoins, decentralized finance platforms, and tokenized real-world assets. Lawmakers spent most of 2025 negotiating the framework and built enough support to move through the House before turning their attention to the Senate. So you can see this. They got it through the House, and these are a set of rules that kind of guide this, what we're trying to work for. It's kind of a rule book that guides it. So whenever they turned to the Senate, the bill hit turbulence. Whenever the Senate Banking Committee Chair Tim Scott postponed a markup set for January 15th, Republicans, which is the Clarity Act. This is the markup that they're talking about, is the Clarity Act that was on January 15th. Republicans released updated language shortly before the meeting, and the changes raised concerns in the crypto sector. That is what happened. They changed the language, and then it created uncertainty because the Coinbase CEO pulled out. We didn't want to be in that, though, so it wasn't all bad. Obviously, the uncertainty is bad, but the bill being passed would have been worse. So Armstrong argued that the new text risks doing more harm than good. I believe in this to some extent. He claimed the draft could cut off tokenized stock markets, expose DeFi users by widening government access data, steer oversight heavily toward the SEC, which we don't want, and shrink stablecoin benefits in a way that could crush competition. All that we don't want. Even Robinhood. So this is kind of how we can see the whole industry kind of coming together and their different opinions on what is happening. Let's see this. So Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev pointed out the dangers of regulatory uncertainty, such as the company's inability to offer staking in several states or bring tokenized equities to U.S. customers, even though they exist in Europe. He urged lawmakers to step up and promised help from his company to finish the process. Everyone wants to get in on this. Everyone wants to get this done. For the most part, this is a pretty well-known idea among the crypto community that we want this bill passed. We need this bill passed. And Charles Hoskinson even said that Trump's crypto czar, basically the person leading Trump's kind of crypto sector, David Sachs, should step down if progress fails to materialize. But to sum it up, guys, I really think, okay, wait, these are the companies I'll look at real quick. These firms, all these huge companies are kind of behind the Clarity Act, and they want it to keep pushing. It will keep pushing. They won't stop fighting, but if we look at the big picture, this would have been worse. This would have done more harm than good. I truly do believe in that, because crypto right now, if you think about it, crypto is a new thing compared to the stock market. It is new. The stock market had to push too whenever it was first coming out. So the crypto market is going to have to push for some things, and it's not going to happen in 1 second, guys. But if we want it to happen, we want it to happen the right way and not the wrong way. We want to be benefited, and we don't want to be put down. The crypto market doesn't need to be put in the ground right now. Obviously, there's uncertainty, and the market's not doing obviously really great, but we don't want to be put right into the ground. We want to stay up, and we want to keep fighting for what we want. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, guys. So if you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, comment down below if you guys like what I'm doing, what you guys want me to do. And thank you for your time. Have a great day.